Hi everybody, today we're going to cover more sparring techniques building off of what Master Chen showed us in the previous video. In this video here, I have an outline made that's going to help us keep the distance between our opponent / partner and us. For this exercise, you can either use your own very ring. You can put the ring in the center. That acts as the point where you want to keep the distance between your opponent. Or you could use tape, you could use a piece of a box, anything's going to work. But the one thing you have to remember is that the second you enter this square, this circle, whatever your shape is, you are in the danger zone to where your opponent could attack you. All right? So when we think about sparring, we first have to think about what kind of stance we want to have. So typically you want a wide stance, similar to how we have a horseback riding stance. You want to have it as wide as that, if not even a little bit wider. And what a wide stance is going to do is it's going to help you fill this gap a lot faster, and it's also going to help you to escape and evade your opponent that much quicker. So for example, if my legs are this far apart and I skip here, I'm this close to my opponent now to where I could attack, but I could also skip back, or I could take a step back the same distance. Now, to show you the difference, if I just had a basic fighting stance and I skip forward, my opponent's still pretty far away. Now, if he comes to attack me and I try to jump back, I'm not going to jump back very far. So when you practice sparring, you want to have at least a little bit more than your shoulder width apart. So where your shoulders are here, put your feet out a little bit further, give yourself a little bend, and bounce. All right, this is going to give you a really good safety net so that you can get close fast and you can retreat fast when needed. So in sparring, aside from having our wide stance, you also want to make sure that you don't face your opponent. All right, this is my buddy Bob here. Bob is going to help me simulate my partner for today. And he is going to face you guys, all right? He's gonna act as my sparring partner. So in this instance, me and Bob, we're facing the same direction. We don't want to face each other because at the end of the day, with Taekwondo, with all the self-defense that we learn, we're protecting our center line. All of our vital organs, all of our vital spots, they're all down the center of our body. That way, when we block, every block that we do, it's protecting that center line. So by facing your opponent, which is bad, you're giving them direct access to your entire body. So in sparring, you always want to act like you're giving your opponent the cold shoulder. Always make sure your shoulder is pointing to your opponent. And the same thing goes for if you're bouncing, you switch feet, make sure your shoulder is facing your opponent. Okay? Very, very important. Never give your opponent access to your center line, because in a real situation, in any fighting situation, that's the worst thing that you could do. That's why even when we do our basic fighting stance, from June B, we step back, hands up. Again, our body is a little bit towards you, but it's more towards the side, and we're defending. All right, okay? So, here, step to the side. Never ever fight your opponent from the front. All right, so we've gone over stance. Keep it very wide, wide stance, wider than your shoulders. Keep yourself cold shoulder. Always point your shoulder, okay? Imagine just you want to shoulder your opponent, okay? Don't face them. The only time you should face your opponent is if you're running to then block, or if you're going to run to attack. It's okay to turn your body for that brief second to do an attack, as long as you're blocking at the same time. So in the general stance, the neutral stance, cold shoulder, bounce. Now that we've gone over that, again, distance is very important. When we spar, it's mostly all about kicking. A basic punch needs to be really hard for it to count, and it only counts for 1 point. So everything else that we do is all kicking focused. So you want to keep that distance between you and your opponent, because as long as you're on this outside, for example, if I roundhouse kick, I'm not going to hit my opponent, so I'm not going to get those points. Now, if I kick, miss, suddenly now he has a good chance to attack me. So we always want to keep a good distance. Remember, this middle section here, consider that your danger zone. The second you bounce in here to this section, whatever you're going to do, even if it's your back leg, always consider that your opponent is in striking distance of you. Same goes for your opponent. If he enters in this zone, you can strike him. Now, when we are sparring at the dojang, at our school, we don't want to hurt or put a lot of power into our kicks. Okay, we kind of want to make it fun, right? So if you're bouncing, you can tap your opponent, right? You can just lightly tap. You can tap, hold your foot there. You don't want to put a lot of power into your techniques because you could really hurt your partner. And we see each other every week. So if you end up hurting your friend, your partner, someone that you see every week, it's going to be bad in terms of they might not want to come back. They might get injured, so they might not be able to come back for a while. They might not want to spar against you. They might not even want to do anything with you. Anytime we do partner work, they're always going to be afraid of, is this person going to kick me? So when we're sparring in the school, always make sure, keep it light. Keep it very light. Go from simple roundhouse kick, try to go as fast as you can, but don't apply a lot of power like this. Because this guy here, while he's a dummy, he's pretty lifelike. He's got the same qualities as a human. So for me to put half of that power in to do such a loud kick to push him back, in real life, that's gonna hurt a lot. That could actually break somebody's ribs. So again, when we're practicing, just remember, hiya, light kicks. Hiya, light kicks. Hiya, light kicks. All right? Very important. We don't want to hurt each other. Some of the most common injuries is if, we kick and somebody blocks with their knee or they block with their elbow. Don't do those things, because your elbows and your knees are probably one of the hardest things we have in attacking. And, we're going to shatter our foot before we ever hurt you. We could kick you just as hard, super hard with a kick. If you block with your elbow, it won't hurt you, but it will destroy us. We'll be limping, we'll have bruises, we could break our foot. So always remember, when we're sparring, tap. Make it fun. Like, I'm gonna get you. Ha. Keep it fun, because you can control your techniques, and that's what martial arts is all about. It's the discipline of learning the technique, practicing it, and then also controlling that power, always. All right, so we've covered wide stance, cold shoulder. Always keep cold shoulder. No matter how you decide to hold your hands, typically in self-defense, we want to keep our hands up. But in Taekwondo sparring, oftentimes you want to keep one hand always protecting your solar plexus and upper body, because you could still block a lot of things here. Oftentimes people might hold their hand out here, because with us constantly kicking or preparing to kick very fast, you can swap that kick down with a downward palm block or any other blocks. Just keep your hand loose. A lot of people keep it down here. You can keep it up here, but it might throw your balance off for all of your kicks, because again, we're not focused on punching in Taekwondo. We're focused on all the kicks that we could do. Now, piggybacking off of what Master Chan taught us last week, he showed us basic footwork. All right, basic footwork from bouncing, bounce forward, bounce back. Okay? So, with me, we're going to bounce forward, bounce back. Again, hana, aya, dul, aya, set, aya, net, aya, toss up, aya, toss up, aya, you go, aya, you dul, aya, aho, aya, Yodel. Aya. All right, basic. Skipping forward, skipping back. And of course, you could also skip forward twice, skip forward back twice. But in this case here, we're keeping an equal distance. So one skip should be enough to get to your opponent. The next lesson that he went over was stepping forward. So from bouncing, you step forward, and now you're in range for an attack. In this case, because of how he's facing, I can't attack him. We cannot hit the back or the spine, so we step back. So what we're going to do here is we're going to step forward, and we're going to step back. These are two very important footworks. Stepping forward gets us closer, but at the same time, stepping back allows us to retreat without using a lot of energy. It can also be faster. So with me, step forward, bam, step back. Ready, hana, aya, aya, dul, aya, set, aya, net, aya, toss it, aya, yasot, aya, igu, aya, yodul, aya, oho, aya, yodul, aya. All right, very good. Next one, make it a little bit more complicated. So from here, we're going to take another step forward, but at the same time, with the same leg, going the same direction, turn. So step forward, step and turn back to fighting stance. All right, so with me, practice one slowly. All right, ready? Step with the same leg, continue to turn, step. All right, with me, hana, aya, dul, aya, set, aya, net, aya, 다섯, aya, 여섯, aya, 일곱, aya, 여덟, aya, 아홉, aya, 열, aya. Now, went a little fast on that, so you might be feeling a little dizzy. All right, so we've covered a basic skip forward, skip back. We've covered step forward, step back. And then we've covered stepping forward with same leg, step again, spin. And you can make different combinations of that. So you could step forward. Now we've switched our feet, and you can skip back. You could step forward again, skip feet, skip back. And this all changes the direction that we are facing. Okay, now we're going to talk about tactics in sparring. Depending on how we face each other, granted, how our shoulders face each other, is going to determine what techniques you can do and how you go about doing them. So there are some techniques that are going to be the same, where it's a front kick from the side, a side kick, yapchagi, or a front push kick. So again, those are going to be pretty much the same, as well as some head kicks. Those will be generally the same because the head is going to be the same level of defense regardless of which side your opponent faces. So right now, we're facing symmetrical. Our toes line up, our heels line up. We're both facing you guys watching us. This is called symmetrical, okay? Now, if we were switched feet, so if I switched my feet like this, we're now asymmetrical. I'm facing one way, he's facing the other way. Our shoulders are still facing the same direction. So this is asymmetrical, symmetrical. It's very important because depending on how your opponent is facing you, it depends on how you can attack. The easiest example I could show you is, say we're right here, right? We're sparring, we're doing a light bounce. If I go to do a skip front roundhouse kick, I'm going to hit his back. You can't do that. Hitting the back, no go. But I'll show you anyway. So if we're bouncing, you skip, aya, kicked his back, right? However, say this was the inverse. Say we're asymmetrical. If I skip forward, aya, I kick his body. I kick the legal striking zone. And that gives me 2 points. 2 points if that lands, if they don't block it away. So Right now, we're going to cover some techniques with the symmetrical facing. So we're both facing you, or we could both be facing the wall. It doesn't matter. If you're symmetrical, you're toes to toes. All right, toes to toes, your shoulder's still the same. So, like I was saying before, a front kick. We would execute this not this way, because again, we're turning to face our opponent and we're kicking, and that's too much time. I'd only really recommend doing that if you're going to do push kick, to push your opponent back. So in this case, what we want to do is a front leg side front kick. So since we're facing the camera, my side is facing my opponent. So you would want to skip, lift your leg up. I'm still facing you guys, shoulder still here. I might turn a little bit for balance, but kick. Okay? That is a side front foot front kick. So if everybody wants to try that with me, hana. So skip, push. And you could do a full-on kick too. You could do, so the difference between a push is skip, push. You're actually pushing your opponent away, whereas a kick is a quick striking impact. So this is a kick. Very different. They look like they're both pushing. One is slower. I touch and I push. The other one is quite literally kick. There's a difference in the sound. You can hear it. So in this instance, for a lot of you, a push kick might be beneficial, because when you're new at sparring, most of the time, someone's just going to charge you. They're going to be charging you. They're going to be all over you. So if your opponent is all over you and you're keeping the cold shoulder, even if you're both facing each other, you can still push. It's very quick. You could be really close to your opponent. So I'm very close here, but I could still lean back a little bit, lift up, kick. That's simple. Very good move. Push kicks. Push kicks are so important when you're first learning how to spar, because it's going to keep this person here that's all over you, that keeps chasing you, you're going to push them away. All right, so whether you want to do a kick, a push kick, let's work on a front leg side front kick. All right, ready? Hana. Haya. Dol. Haya. Set. Haya. Net. Haya. Toss. Haya. Yasa. Haya. Eagle. Haya. Yodel. Haya. Aho. Haya. Yodel. Haya. All right, thanks, Bob. So as you can see, Bob is kind of lifelike. So all those times of me gently pushing him, he rocked back and forth, his balance was off. That's what you're doing. When you do that push kick, bam, you're pushing your opponent away. Can you make them fall? In a real competition, you cannot. You could push them away. If they fall on their own because they can't get their balance, that's fine. But if you kick them or push them to fall, you can't do that. Not good. You'll actually lose points for that. Okay. So again, we are symmetrical to each other, toes to toes. Now, same thing with the front kick, we're going to do the side kick. A little bit easier, because instead of having to skip, turn, extend, now we're just skip, kick. Very simple. You have to be able to do a front foot side kick. Now for all of these techniques, could you take that step forward and do a side kick? You can. Could you do a traditional side kick? Yes, you could. You could also do a traditional front kick, pushing. But again, sparring is all about the points. So anytime we move to face our opponent here, or we take a step, the second we take that step, they're going to be ready for us. They're going to be watching what we do. They could counter it. They could, so for example, if I'm going to turn to do a front kick, maybe he's already switched feet, roundhouse kick. So we always want to protect ourselves. because that 1 point could make the difference between winning a tournament and getting a trophy, or if you go to state championships, things like that. That 1 point can make the difference. So with me, we're going to practice a side kick. Now, if you can't skip, you could sidestep. So back leg crosses over, you have a tightness in your hips here, tightness in your legs. When you release that, that's a rubber band effect. So instantly into the kick. There's nothing wrong with that except the fact that it's telegraphed. They can see you do this and they could block it very quickly. However, if you do it fast enough, you should be fine. Hiya! So, whether it's a skip side kick or a side crossover step side kick, it's up to you. All right, scoop Bob over here. All right, so remember, symmetrical, toes to toes. If you don't have an opponent, just imagine it, because when we do our kicking combination, you're ultimately trying to imagine your opponent anyways. So, bouncing, skip forward, side kick, hana, hiya, third, hiya, set, hiya, net, hiya, toss up, hiya, toss up, hiya, you go, hiya, good, hiya, aho, hiya, good, hiya. And remember, every time I kick, I'm entering the danger zone. Danger zone is your circle, your square, your little area of imagination between you and your opponent. Every time I enter this zone to attack, they can attack you. So the second I make my attack, I get out. I get out whichever way I can. So again, you could side kick, back step. Or, side kick, turn step. There's many ways that you could escape and evade your opponent. Next thing that we're going to cover is a roundhouse kick using the back of your foot, the back leg. With this, you have to move forward. So, as Master Chan covered in his previous lesson, kicking from here, bam, my opponent's too far away. I didn't cross into the danger zone. He's keeping his distance. So for me to get closer in this symmetrical plane, we can't step, because stepping will put our roundhouse kick on the wrong side. Even if you make this kick here, you won't get points, and your opponent might actually get a point. It's called gamjum. You're not allowed to hit certain parts of the body. So the only way that we can make a roundhouse from here is wide stance, bouncing, skip forward in the danger zone. Since this is my supporting leg, I know I'm going to have enough distance to make that roundhouse kick. Let me reset Bob. Remember, always imagine this middle section as an area that if you cross into it, that's where you're going to attack. So with me, we're going to skip forward, roundhouse kick. And then practice, you can step out, you can turn, you can skip. However way you want to evade your opponent. All right, so with me, hana, hut, hiya, good, hut, set, hut, net, hut, toss it, hut, hut, gas it, hut, hut, you go, hut, hut, good, hut, hut, oh, hut, good, hut, hut. All right, good job. Now we are going to cover a spinning, jumping roundhouse kick. This has many different names: spinning, jumping roundhouse kick, hurricane kick, whirlwind kick. We call it the tornado kick, or toge chage. With a toge chage, you are spinning around, jumping and kick. That kick could be a roundhouse kick. That kick could be a crescent kick. For us, the basic that we start with is a roundhouse kick. Now, in this instance, as you just witnessed, if I go to just do the spin kick, so I spin, jumping kick, what happens? I kick the spine, I get no points, no go, all right? So, to get that kick, to get the points, now with a spinning kick, it is 4 points. A spinning kick to the body is 4 points. To get that kick from our wide stance, you're going to take a step forward, then spin, kick, okay? A little bit more difficult, but learning the spin makes it easier because when you take that step forward, your body is already turning. All right, so practice that first. So step, feel the turn. Step and twist to the back, all right? So hana, aya, dul, aya, set, aya, net, aya, toss-up, aya, yasa, aya. So with that turning motion, you'll do the kick. So everybody with me, you're first going to step, lift your leg up, hop, 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 hop. If you haven't mastered it, jump and kick. Now, for this kick, you really want to get to that point where you're not hopping. So if you're still doing this, step, hop, 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 you will get destroyed. Because while you're hopping, bam, 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 they could kick you. Or while you're in mid-hop, they've already attacked you. So, you know, maybe they've done a push kick, side kick, any kind of kick. Or maybe while you're hopping, they move, and you're like, ah, you know, they fake you out. So, you really want to learn to get to the point where you step, spin, kick, and jump at the same time. And there's an easy way to do it. There's also like a 2-hop method. So what you should think about is step, lift the back knee up, bring it around, use this motion to make your foot spin. Okay, so knee up, whip it around, foot spins. Once your foot spins, keep that knee up, jump, kick. The higher this knee is, the higher your jump's gonna be. So if your knee is down here, your kick's gonna be really low. Very difficult move, but we started at yellow stripe. At yellow stripe, in your kicking combination, we have a spinning, jumping roundhouse kick. So if you can't do the jump, that's fine, but I would at least first start with the spin. So step, spin, kick. Easier part. So step, spin, kick. If you know how to do the jump, do the jump. They're fun. They get easier too. You can get to a point where when you step and this knee, if you're close enough to your opponent, we can't do this in sparring, but you can actually kick with your knee. So 2 kicks, so kick, kick. We can practice that with targets. All right, so everybody with me, step forward, spinning, jumping, roundhouse kick, or step forward, tornado kick, step forward, doge chage. Ready? Hana. Step, spin, jump. Dul. Step, spin, jump. Set. Step, spin, jump. Net. Step, spin, jump. Kick. Toss it. Hiya. Yasa. Hiya. And that one, I didn't step into the danger zone enough. You can use this kick to propel yourself. So if I'm all the way back here, we have a lot of distance between us. Doesn't matter, you can travel with this kick. So, you go. So step, bring yourself forward. All right, super far kick. You can do it closer, that's fine. So remember, step, bam, propel yourself. All right, ready? One last one. Begin. Stepping forward, spin, jump, roundhouse kick, / tornado kick. You have to make that step for that spin kick to the body. All right. The next thing that we're going to cover over is a side skipping counter. Now, in this instance, you'll never want to stay in front of your opponent, but imagine your opponent's going to do a roundhouse kick. All right. So, say your opponent has entered into the zone. He does a roundhouse kick, swinging his body this way. What you could do, say you were going forward at the same time, you go forward as they're kicking and then shoot out this way. And what you could do is kick when they finish their kick, or kick with the other leg. So with that counter, and it's even easier if you're asymmetrical. But again, they kick, so now they're facing us. You skip, dodge to the side, kick to the body. I don't really have too much room here. So I will show you on the other side. So he's just kicked at us. Right? So while he's in that process of kicking, we were going to attack. So as we go forward to attack, he's going to try to kick us, right? So in that skip, you shoot up to the side. Now I'm over here. I've evaded his kick over here. Roundhouse kick. Evasion. So skip to the side and counter. So 1, 2, kick. Try it again. So skip forward, shoot out to the side using your front leg. So from this position, we start our skip propelling with our back leg. Okay, our back leg pushes us forward. Front leg is what pushes us out of the way. So it doesn't matter which direction you go, just remember, back leg to go forward, front leg to move to the side. So back leg pushes you forward, front leg out to the side. And with this, these are great, this circle, if you want to practice it as a drill. All you have to do is stand here, and you're going to try to make a right angle. So step in, step out. Step in, I go where Bob is here. Very, very good counterattack. You skip forward, jump out, and then attack. With the limited space, we won't go over that, but we'll have to do that with a real partner in one of the next videos. All right. Last one that we're going to cover, because some of the other techniques are a little bit more advanced, and it might be easier to actually show it with someone else kicking me. The last one that we're going to do is a front leg hook kick. Now, in green belt, your kicking combination is a skip side kick, skip hook kick. That skip hook kick is a skip front hook kick, all right? So we skip forward and hook, right? With sparring, when we're both standing symmetrical, a skip hook kick is a kick that a lot of beginners will not see coming. It's very quick, and you can actually use it to push your opponent back. You can spin yourself in so many different ways to actually get the kick to work that they might not see it coming. But in this instance, what we're going to do is we're going to skip forward, right? Now, what a skip hook what a hook kick will have is you're going to lift your leg up, kind of like a side kick. You're going to shoot your leg out, not at your opponent, but just to the side of your opponent. So you shoot your leg out and hook. All right, so again, you're going to skip, kick, hook. If you're having balance issues, and if you're having power issues with your leg, one thing that you could do is torque your body. Now, similar to our rubber band, where we tie ourselves up to where there's tension, if we release it, our foot naturally goes out. A torque motion is if our body goes one way, while the other half of our body goes the other way. So if you're having problems with the power and balance of a hook kick, a front hook kick, imagine punching or even an elbow strike at the same time that you're kicking. So it's the same arm, same leg, same side. Your leg's going to the wall, but your arm is going the opposite direction. I'll demonstrate that now with the skip front hook kick. So you skip, punch, and torque your body. That torquing motion is going to help you get more power and speed into your hook kick. If you can do a skip hook kick without the punch, by all means, I would practice it though, because it does help your body to learn how to properly kick with enough power. So we're going to do a skipping forward front hook kick with your front leg. All right, ready? We'll go slow. Hana, skip, punch, and kick. Dur, skip, aya. Set, aya. Net, aya. Toss it, aya. Toss it, aya. 이걸 아야 얘를 아야 아야 열 아야. Again, the punch, the elbow strike isn't necessary. However, it'll help your body get that power and balance if you're not used to doing this kick. Hook kicks in general are really meant for heads. When we learn our hook kicks, at that point in time, you guys should be able to kick at head level, but doing it to the body can be just as fast and just as good. A front hook kick will only get you 2 points. A spinning hook kick, so if I switched feet and I spun, even if I kicked right here, that's 4 points. So the difference, it's a big difference, just from skipping forward versus a turning, spinning hook kick. Now, again, during sparring at the dojang, we do not want to kick people's heads, especially without their head protector on. And just in case, for those that don't know, this here is your head protector. Okay, put it on, strap it in, and this is what's going to protect you from our kicks. All right, mine's a little too small for Bob. It won't fit on Bob. I'd have to like jam it onto there. But again, you don't want, during dojang practice, you don't want to kick your partner. And if you were to kick your partner in the head, it has to be so light, like just a little light tap, baby tap, and your partner has to agree before you guys start fighting. So if you guys both agree that you guys want to practice head kicks, you know, maybe a competition is coming closer. And I know for me, competitions I've been in, we don't practice head kicks at the dojang much at all. So when I got into a competition, I got so many head kicks and face kicks that I was very, very underprepared. And even though I was okay, it can still rattle you if you're not careful. So it's something we have to practice, because if you do a competition, if you continue this as a sport, you're going to get kicked in the head. It's going to happen. So we need to learn how to dodge, evade it, maybe block it. A lot of times I might put, you might put both arms up and bam, they hit your arms. Whatever you can do to block that kick, because they can hurt. Most of the times they don't. A lot of times, even during a competition, the kick will be very light. But still, you have to practice it. Your opponent has to practice it, even if you skip and kick the air. Kicking the air is fine. I fully encourage that all students, when sparring, should practice head kicks with their opponent, even if it gets nowhere near them. You know, whether it's a crescent kick, whether it's an axe kick, you should really practice a lot. Because in the tournaments, you're gonna face other people that will do them to you. And if you've never done it before, you won't know how to counter a head kick. So again, at the dojang, have to wear this. You guys have, this is safety. Even if you don't use head kicks, you really should probably wear this for safety reasons. And we recommend that all belts, green belt and up, wear headgear. Because again, at green belt, we start learning hook kick and back hook kick. And those are for the head. Totally acceptable for the body, but we use that kick for the head primarily. So again, the skip hook kick, you can skip, kick, you know, you don't have to punch, but again, you can punch, but practice kicking in the air. Really, you should. Very important when you guys go to a competition. All right, so that's a front skip hook kick. And that is all we're going to cover today for the symmetrical kicks. Remember, symmetrical, toes to toes, we're both facing you all right? Now, we're going to focus on asymmetrical. And remember at the very beginning, asymmetrical is we are opposite to one another. All right, so let's see, maybe keep Bob on this side. We'll make Bob asymmetrical. That way, maybe it'll be easier to show you guys some of the techniques. So you guys can see me better. So again, we still keep our center, right? We have our danger zone. Danger zone, you're in this area, opponent's gonna attack you in one way or another. All right, so again, we're keeping our distance and the same basics apply. So if I skipped forward to do a front kick or a front push kick, that's still gonna be the same. All right, basic kick. Same thing with a side kick, whether you cross over side kick or you skip kick, or if your opponent is charging you, you can literally lift your leg up. You can lift your leg up, kick, or lift your leg up and they run into your foot. Very common. So make sure that if you guys are chargers, if you want to charge your opponent, make sure you don't run into easy kicks. Now we're going to go over roundhouse kicks. So we're asymmetrical. I'm facing you guys. Bob, he's looking out the window. He's wondering what's going on out there. I mean, we've all been cooped up with this stay-at-home quarantine stuff. So he's very curious about what's outside. So with a roundhouse kick, there are two main ways that you could go about doing it. So first one is what we've been doing most of this lesson is a skip. Skip forward, front leg. Skip forward, front leg. So we skip, kick. We can lower our leg, pull back, lower our leg, skip back, or we drop, immediately go back, okay? Easiest one, skip forward, front leg, roundhouse kick. All right, so we're gonna practice that. So everybody with me, get ready. Whether you're kicking the air, practice play kicking with your parents. Don't hurt your parents or anything. Don't hurt your friends. We're going to skip forward and do a front leg roundhouse kick. All right, ready? Hana, haya, do, haya, set, haya, net, haya, pass it, haya, that's it, haya, you go, haya, you do. Hiya! Oh! Hiya! Good! Hiya! Easy! Next one we're going to do is a fake front roundhouse kick. We're going to combine front kick with a roundhouse kick. Now, I believe we start learning this at yellow stripe. So in your kicking combination, when we're practicing, it's fake kick, pivot, roundhouse kick, right? That starts at yellow stripe. What we're going to do with this one, though, is a front leg version. So we skip forward. Now, remember, we keep our body to the side, but we raise it for that fake kick. So fake kick, right? This fake kick is meant to intimidate your opponent. It's meant to fake them out. So for example, if you do a fake kick Maybe they'll block. They've just exposed themselves. They're blocking, so you attack. Maybe they go back. Maybe they see you're about to do an attack and they retreat. This is a fake out, all right? Fake out, a taunt. You are saying, hey, I'm gonna attack you. Here's my attack, right? But you're not attacking. So you skip forward at the same time, fake front / round kick, okay? From there, you execute the roundhouse kick. So we skip, fake kick, pivot, kick. Back into our fighting stance. If you guys didn't know that's why we do the fake kick. Now you know, the fake kick is to fake out or taunt our opponent into flinching, stepping back, you know, maybe blocking. Maybe they block wrong, leaving you open to an attack. So you're gonna practice this with me. We're gonna do skip forward, fake front kick, fake roundhouse kick with this front leg here, okay? Hana, aya, aya, do, aya, aya, set, aya, aya, net, aya, aya, toss it, aya, aya, toss it, aya, aya, you go, aya, aya, 여덟, aya, aya, 아홉, aya, aya, 열, aya, aya. Now, we have just covered a skip forward, fake front, roundhouse kick. Next, we're going to do a more simple roundhouse kick. We covered it at the very beginning. We are asymmetrical. I'm facing you, Bob's facing out the window. All you're going to do is from your fighting stance, remember, keep a wide stance, bouncing, step forward, kick. All right, with me again, practice. Step forward, this leg, back leg, turn, kick for the roundhouse kick. All right, we're gonna practice this. Everybody, with me, a little bit of bouncing. Hana, hey, hey. Bouncing, 둘, hey, hey. Set, hey, hey. Net, hey, hey. 다섯, hey, hey. 다섯, hey, hey. 일곱, hey, hey. 여덟, hey, hey. 아홉, hey, hey. 열, hey, hey. All right, remember, step forward, turn, roundhouse kick. All right, guys, you're doing really good. We're almost done with today's lesson. We're gonna cover a few more things, gonna practice some more, and then you'll be done for the day. Good job. So, we've just covered quite a few techniques. The next one is gonna go back into our skipping counters, our side skip counter. So again, say we're asymmetrical, and Bob here, he's doing a roundhouse kick. Wham! He's trying to kick me here. Not sure why he would try it, but it's a very common beginner mistake. So he tries to roundhouse kick me as I'm shooting forward on my leg. Now remember, back leg pushes us forward, so shoot forward. He's trying to kick us. To evade it, we use our front leg, push to the side, roundhouse kick. So remember, he's trying to do a kick, skip forward, skip to the side, roundhouse kick. All right, we'll go slow. Everybody try it just a little bit. Now remember, with him doing that kick, he's kind of in that danger zone, so we don't have to travel too far. So everybody with me, give it a try. Skip forward, skip to the side, kick with your opposite leg. All right, ready? Hana. So forward, to the side, kick. 둘, forward, to the side, kick. Set, forward, to the side, kick. Net, forward, to the side, kick. 다섯, forward, to the side, kick. 여섯, forward, to the side, kick. You go, hit, hit, hit. Good. Hit, hit, hit. Oh, hit, hit, hit. Good. Hit, hit, hit. Good job. Also, keeping our shoulders to our opponent. So, skip forward, shoulder here, push off with front leg, to the side, shoulder still facing my opponent, kick. All right, let's reset Bob here. All right, again, we are asymmetrical. I'm facing the camera, he's facing away. We are toes to heels. So remember, toes to toes, symmetrical, toes to heels, asymmetrical. We're gonna go over toge chage, tornado kick, again, which is essentially a spinning, jumping, roundhouse kick. So for the toge chage, before, we stepped forward, spun, and kicked. We can't do that here, because again, kicking the spine, we can't do that. So in essence, this one can be even faster, because that one step, that's a technique right here. We've just changed our stance. We've just given away what we're about to do. So every time you take a step forward, you take that risk of them countering it. So in an asymmetrical situation, for your tornado kick, all you have to do is turn your body, pivot, see behind you, spin forward, jump, kick. So remember, pivot, knee up, spin around, jump and kick. And remember, if you guys cannot jump, if you're still at the point where you pivot and you're hopping, that's fine. Just remember that you need to get to that point where it's seamless. It's fast and it's seamless. Now, again, from this position, with that spinning, jumping, roundhouse kick, even if it's a spinning roundhouse kick, you can propel yourself. So again, you could be all the way back here. I'm almost out of frame, but you come forward, and that was just walking, spinning. So you can propel yourself with this kick with enough accuracy and developing your skill. You can accurately determine how far you need to be, how fast you need to travel to get to your opponent. So everybody, practice with me. A little bit of bouncing, keep yourself light on your toes. Spin, kick. Hiya. All right, ready? With me. Hana. Hit. Dul. Hit. Set. Hit. Net. Hit. Toss it. Hit. That's it. Hit. You go. Hit. You do it. Hit. Oh. Hit. Good. Hit. Easy stuff. You'll get easier. It gets easier as you go. Lastly, for main techniques today, we're going to go over the back hook kick. We've already established that during main sparring at the school, don't kick someone to the head if they're not wearing a headgear. If you're going to kick them to the head, super light baby tap. However, they have to know. You guys have to say, hey Bob, can we try to practice head kicks today? And Bob will be like, sure, we can. Or he'll be like, no, we can't. And if he says no, don't do it. If he says no, you're still allowed to practice, but remember, it has to be in the air away from your opponent. And that's tricky, okay? So when you're kicking to the head, you always want to say, hey, is my opponent about to attack me? Because for example, if I do a back hook kick, I turn my body, I kick, bam, to the head. In that whole motion, if I'm too slow, if I turn and I'm not looking at my opponent, when you do a back hook kick, you turn to look at your opponent. I can see Bob right now. If you don't do that, maybe Bob gets closer. Bob gets closer, and you go ahead and you kick him and you hit him in the head because you didn't look at him. That's not good. Okay, don't do that. We don't want to hurt anybody. We don't want to hurt our friends or the partners that we practice and train with every week. So remember, if you're going to practice it, make sure safe distance. That means, here's my danger zone. Don't practice it here. Because if you practice it here, you'll probably hit his head. Now, you can practice it outside the danger zone. That's fine. Turn, kick, wasn't anywhere near him. And that's quite all right. But be careful. The other thing too is you can only do this if you've developed enough strength in your leg. However, say we are close and you really wanted to practice the technique, it is possible because when you're this close, you could do a back hook kick to the face really fast, really easy. Even our dojang tournaments that we've had, I've seen red belts that started here and 3 seconds into the match, he whips around, whips his leg up, bam, back hook kick. Just that easy. The person gets knocked down. Match is stopped. The other person wins, but now you might have an issue where you've knocked out your opponent, and we've got to get the paramedics in so that they can make sure everybody's okay. That's standard. For our back hook kicks, we want to practice mostly with the body, okay? Because remember, a turning kick to the torso, so this area right in the hair, that is 4 points. 4 points just for a turning kick. So if you guys are bouncing and you're closer, you're in that danger zone, but you're trying to like fake each other out, it's very easy to just kick. Turn your body, kick. And with a hook kick, it's not going to be as beautiful as just kicking the air. Because when you're hooking, when you kick, Bob is heavy. Bob is simulating a person for me. So when you kick, there's going to be a bounce back. So it's not going to be a very beautiful kick. It's going to be really just down, fast, just bam, as fast as you can make it. Because if you're too slow, for example, if I go to kick here, Bob could still kick me right here. So anytime you're turning, your back is to your opponent, every time. Whether it's a spin jump roundhouse kick, whether it's a turning hook kick, you're giving your back to your opponent, and that could cost you so many points. In a real situation, never ever face your opponent to your back. Always keep your opponent in view. So, with me, all we're going to do is from the bouncing position, back leg is going to essentially make a turning step motion, but instead of the step, we're going to turn, hook. And it could be that quick, that sloppy. It doesn't have to be a perfectly beautiful hook kick, because again, we're just going for points. So, with me, at your own pace, hana, turn, hook, do, hook, set, hook, net, hook, outside, hook, outside, hook, you go, hook, 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 yo, hook. When you're bouncing, a lot easier because you're on the balls of your foot, so it's very easy to just 1, 2, 1, 2, hook. When we're bouncing, that's kind of a rhythm. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, back hook kick, but again, when we're sparring in school, practice face height, because when you go to take your black belt test, all your kicks should be waist high up here, and back hook kicks, things of that, should always be head high. If you don't do that, you will fail your black belt test. That's why we always tell you to try to kick above the waist, because if you kick below here, kick this point right here, you'll lose points, they'll get points, you'll fail your test. All right, I can't stress that enough. It's safety as well. We're practicing Taekwondo. It's a martial art and a sport. There's no reason to kick someone's thigh. No reason to kick the thigh. I mean, you would have to be really strong to break their stance. And you don't want to kick it with your foot. You would have to kick it with your shin. But that's not what we're doing. We're kicking with our foot only, this part. So remember, always kick above the belt, no matter what you're trying to do. Otherwise, you will start to fail your tests. So that is all for some basic kicks, some of the kicks that we learn in our kicking combination, and how you would use them against an opponent. Main points to remember is that a wide stance is going to help you travel a lot closer. It's going to travel a lot farther. And then always cold shoulder. Don't face your opponent. Bad. Don't face your opponent. Always protect the center line, whether it's a real situation, sparring, or any kind of combat sport. Always protect to this point. And there's other basics in here too that we did not cover. Things that we could cover maybe in the next class, but something like if we're symmetrical, you can change that with just switch feet, or step back, or you could step this way and then do a flurry, do a running attack, bam. There are so many ways to spar. You just have to think about the tactics. What is your opponent going to do? Other things that we didn't cover is the basic punch. You know, when you're fighting, you could punch for that 1 point, and the second you finish that punch, kick for another 2 points. That's 3 points right there. I don't teach the punch often though, because let's face it, if you're this close, punching is easy to do, but to get that point, it's got to be a hard punch, really hard punch, for it to actually count as a point. Baby punch doesn't count. It's got to be an actual punch. And then, of course, the other kicks that we do know from our basics are crescent kicks, out to in kicks, in to out kicks, or axe kicks. So if you're sparring, you know, feet apart, there's no reason why you couldn't skip forward, axe kick. You know, but again, axe kick to the head, axe kick to the shoulder to kind of throw them off balance. You could do jumping axe kick in the air. You know, we don't want to actually hurt our partner in class sparring, but in competitions, a crescent kick or out to in kick here, very easy to get a head kick. I've been in a tournament where all this person wanted to do was axe kicks and crescent kicks, and you know, when they're constantly doing this and you're trying to like dodge and get away, if you even bend, you're just making it easier for them to do something to you. So practice those. Don't hit your opponent, of course, but you can do out to in kick, bounce, 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 front kick, in to out kick. These are all things you could practice during sparring, and we'll cover more of it later on. Something else I want to cover is faking out your opponent. So if you're sparring, getting your opponent to flinch. All right, faking them out. I'm going to attack you. These are all things you can have fun with. Sparring doesn't have to be serious. It doesn't have to be scary. You know, if you know this person, you see him every week, just have fun with it. You know, just practice and I'm going to get you this time. Oh, you flinched. Bam, bam. Right? It's all about having fun, practicing your techniques, learning better self-defense by blocking, how to fight. And if you do competitions, or if you do like state championships, things like that, it prepares you for those even better. So I hope you guys were able to follow along today. I hope you guys had fun. We did a few kicks. We'll have to do, you know, a recap class and really practice more. Maybe bring Instructor Bridget in and she can showcase some more counters. But I hope you all are staying safe, have fun, and good luck with your training. Please keep training because, you know, the more you kick, it doesn't matter, the better you get. All right, well, hope you guys enjoyed that. Stay safe.